Hello there guys, it's HiveHD here, or Andy McCabe, as family and monsters and aliens call me, and pedophiles all alike, you know, just the usual. I'm going to do my first tutorial tonight. It's basically just going to be a basics of Cinema 4D modelling. Now hopefully you already understand the basics of Cinema 4D. If not, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of tutorials out there. But I've been looking, and I remember when I started, there was a lot of tutorials out there, but they weren't very about modelling and stuff. The basic ones are alright, you can find some good basics ones, but I noticed that the modelling ones weren't amazing. They were amazing, they could obviously show to you the basics, and which is amazing. But what I'm going to do is show you in a theme, so what we're going to be doing today is creating some ruins. Or like a ruined fountain or a gate or something like that, whatever you want to do. You can all do it the same way. What we're first going to do is just show you some effects of what we can do to make it look good. So, this is basically all I do. The moment I click Cinema 4D, I can go to my render settings here. You can also do, I think it's Control R, is it? If I hit Control R. Oh, no, that renders just do Control A, or I don't know. Just forget about that, just click that render thing. Then go to Output, leave the rest of it for now. Go to Output, and there's this little arrow here. If you click that and go to Film Video, you can change the size of it. I usually use HD 720. You can use 1080p if you want, but that will obviously extend your render time. Then we'll just make a cylinder for now. And there's these little yellow squares here. I'm hoping you know the basics of Cinema 4D. So I'm just going to show you some of the basics of modelling. So when you get your shape, you can kind of make it that size. If you don't know how to make it that size, what you can either do is these little yellow squares which you can drag down like that, and another little yellow square which you can drag out. Or I Control Z all of that, and you get your cylinder, select it. Apparently there is no cylinder on this thing. It's because I dragged this over. If I drag this back, if I click the cylinder, I can hit C on it, and then if I go to this, the scale tool, I can just drag it down like that. And out. Like so. So what we're going to do for now is, with this, basic things you need to know are MS, things like just M, MT, MS, MD, MG, MC, M bumhole, M vagina tit. Yeah. So from there, what we're going to do for now is I think I'm just going to make a little fountain. I'm going to use my selection tool, and if I go to, with my cylinder now that it's editable, I can click the Polygon selection tool. And go to select, and there's a loop selection thing. So if I click that and click around here, I can get this. And if I go to MS now, I can pull it out a little bit, and then extend it. I'm going to make it a bit thinner, and I'm going to move it down. Just so there's a little rim to the fountain. And then I'm going to go UL again. If we hit UL, it goes to the loop selection tool. I'm going to hit UL, go to my loop selection tool again, hit MS again, and drag it up. Make it really thin, like so. Then MS again, and a little one, MS again, and then make this one a bit smaller, and lift it up. And then MS again, and like that. And I'm going to lift this one up. Like so. Then you can, this is basically a stand for now of the fountain, a little stand. And from there, you could then do that. And make this one a bit bigger. I'm going to do now. MS again. Make it bigger. If you look underneath, basically, this is just a quick one. You can spend more time on it if you want, but this is basically just showing you a basic idea. Then I want to move it up a bit, and then MS again I'm going to do, and I'm going to do that, and move it out a bit. But I want to have it facing in now, and then MS again, and this time I'm going to do that, and go down. Oh, not do that. And go down, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Like so. You can then even build something random in the middle. In fact, to build something random in the middle, what I'm going to do is if I go MT, or MW, sorry. What I can do is I can build a little circle in the middle, Then I can go MS, bring that in, MS, and bring that up. In fact, I'm going to make it really small. No, I don't want to save it. Go away. Control Z. Control Z. We'll make this one really small. And you're basically going to get a fountain shape here. Now, what you can also do is if I go back to UL and select this, just to make things a bit better, I'm going to move this up a bit. In fact, we'll Control Z all this back to that point. At this point, here we go. And what I want to do is make it small and bring it down. We'll keep it just above that level, I think. Oh no, sorry. Forget about that for now. Keep that, and then go MS again, and make it small. Then I'm going to bring it down, just so, straight down, just above that level, just so it does dip down a bit, just a little bit. We don't want to dip it down too much. Then I'm going to go MW, make a smaller circle, MS a little bit, and then a little bit more, drag it up, just so it gives an effect of a curved edge like that. It's obviously not a curved edge, but it just makes a transition smoother between them. You can go small if you want. Then what we can do is we can go MW, drag it in, go MS. Go MW again, make it really small. Then we can drag it up. And, I don't know, hit MX and do matrix extrude, which is some crazy thing which matrix extrudes. It's called matrix because it's insert, and it'll do something random like that. And then I can play around with how they look, so I can do this, make them come down a bit, make them twist, do God knows what, choose how far they spread out, do some weird, really weird, weird thing here. But yeah, you get the idea. We'll Control Z most of that. But what I am going to do here is hit MS again, and this time come down to where it says not real time update, sorry, click options and come down to where it says preserve groups. Click it, so then if I drag out, it'll do them individually. I can then drag up and spread them out. Then do MS again, then drag up and spread them out. And I'm going to hit MX. Oh, Control Z that. That's going to be weird. And why are you so crazy, friend? Change at least to 100 because I did edit these. It will stop them going that bit extra weird. And now I have that little discs, which look really peculiar and weird, and you'd never see happening. You probably just want to keep them at the default settings for the matrix extrude, but hey, there we go. That'll do me for now. If you render this, you've got that. How exciting. So what you want to do now is come into your render settings again and add some effects now. I usually add Ambient Occlusion, Global Illumination, and when you Global Illumination it will up the render time a bit because it makes things look a bit more like realistic like in the world. So we're doing ruins obviously, so I'm doing that. Click your Global Illumination, come to Irradiance Cache and go low and low. You can obviously just rewind the video and watch that again if you didn't see that. And then another effect I do as well is depth of field. Just a little bit of blur strength I'm going to take up to about 40% and use black background blur and go 60%. 60%. Then down this to about 60 also. And then now if I render it, it's going to be black. If I do that, yep, look black. Because we've got no light. So what you want to do to make it even more realistic is come down to create and go physical sky and physical sky. If you're on R12, it's object and sky. It's the same thing. And now if I render it, It's still looking weird and like a model in a 3D software, but it's kind of got some good effects going to it now. So now what you want to do is start with the texturing. So first what I'm going to do is go to my colour on your texture, take off specular colour because it'll make it look plasticky, and go to your colour, where it says texture, click the arrow, load image. And I'm going to try and find an image of something, maybe like old paper. You can make it look bricky in this. I'm going to do texture, click copy, come to your bump and paste it, and lower it about 60%. What your bump's going to do is make it look like it's 3D when it's not. So if I click the render on that now, it's going to look weird because it's stretching the textures. It's basically on the polygons now, and as you can see, because this is this is one polygon each, it's stretching per polygon. So what you're going to do is click it, go seamless, and go cubic, and it'll do that. Now I have this texture spread out over the fountain. It does look quite deserty though, this one. So what I'm going to do is choose a different texture. A high quality one, doesn't matter what colour your fountain's going to be. This isn't exactly a realistic fountain. Well, realistic, as per se, like the texture and stuff. I've changed my texture. When you change a texture though, make sure you copy it and put it in your bump map as well. So yeah, that looks alright, but it does look very like uniform, if you know what I mean, like the lines going across and stuff. So what I'm going to try and do now is add some more layers to it. So what I'm going to do is go to my colour, take off specular again, and go load and noise. If I click this, I can go to Luca. Now it does look quite bumpy and weird, but if I go to my global scale and go to around 400, I have something like that. Maybe go to electric and do that, or Naki and do that. And you can change the seed. Naki could be a good one actually for like marbly maybe, Luca maybe for a bit more jagged, and electric is what I'm going to use. Now click on your colour again, and where a texture is, copy it and put it in your bump. Oh, don't, I click copy that. Oh, I'm going to go back and copy that, go to the bump, and paste. Now this you want to lower quite far, so it does look really bumpy. And obviously if I drag it on now, if I make it cubic again, you're probably looking at this like Jesus Christ of Nazareth and vagina poo tit fiddle. This is not what you want at all. It does look quite like snow. Maybe you want that, but I would not recommend using that. So what I'm going to do on this time is click it, and with it still copied, I'll copy it again if need be. Come to where it says alpha, click tick on that and paste it, and that will alpha out the black. So now if I render it, the bump map of it still on, so it does look like it's going down, but it's only in certain bits of it. So if you look at this, there's a random bit there, it looks like it's dented. A random bit somewhere else where it looks like it's dented. Random bit somewhere else where it looks like it's dented. And this is kind of what you want to go for. A bit like ruins. I'm also going to lower the bump map of this a bit. More bumpier. And you can probably just leave it at that for now. Boom, you've got a fountain. Now, another thing as well, to make it look ruined, obviously you want to destroy bits off. So what I'm going to do here is come down to this little bit here. Obviously there's the textures are all polygon here, so I'm just going to click this, delete, click this, and shift click that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a bit smaller like this. Then I'm going to hit MD, and where it's in here, I'm going to click that. And that's going to seal off that bit. Just to check it's sealed off, you can just hover around here, click bits that you want to seal off, just to make sure everything's sealed. And then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that bit of it, and make it smaller. No, sorry, not make it smaller. I'm going to click it, and in fact, has it looked ruined a bit? No, we failed with that, so just forget that, just controls it all that. We'll come back to here where I've just deleted both the things. Then I can do something like delete this, delete that, and go MD again, and then what should be happening is it's going a bit weird, so we'll just forget this section of it. And we'll just go to UL. We'll just forget about making it look really for now. Go on that, we go MX. Then we can make it look cool. What I want to do is, where it's got the scale, what I do with this, I want to thin them out a bit. Make him a bit thinner this way as well. Then I can just move them around, choose where they go. Choose a rotation, but what I'm going to quickly do is just, I don't want a rotation when I'm actually, so we'll do that. And where it has rotate here, we'll rotate them back. Okay, click Control Z. I'm just going to do something like this. Like that. And then I'm going to MS this and do this. Now this is a really cool effect. If you're on like a silo or something, try and like simulate this at the bottom, and if you keep doing that, it will create this, which is really cool. So then if you do something like this, where was that? I've just got my mind blank. Yeah, so when you got something like this and you render it, with the ambient occlusion, it does look seriously sick. Like that. And with what we're going to do in a minute, it will look even sicker. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. Make them about that big. Then hit MS again. And do that. And you can, I don't know what you want to be doing, but you can do that, I suppose. And what I'm going to do is, with these polygons selected, go to this colour. I don't want to load image, sorry. I'm going to make it like an orangey. Make it sure it's really tiny orangey, take off specular, go to luminance. Go to my orange colour, make it a little bit orangey. And then drag it on. And it'll, with them polygons selected, it'll only put it on them polygons. Like so. So if I render that, these act as a light now, so if I took off the sky, it would light up a little bit, but they're not that powerful, so wouldn't recommend just using them as a light in a situation like this when you're doing ruins and stuff. With like a sphere and you want to make the sphere look realistic with reflections, you could do that. So now I've got something cool like this, but obviously futuristic lights on something like that wouldn't work out, so I'm just going to take the lights off and delete. So now we have a basic fountain thingy-bob. We can fill it with water if you want to. In fact, yeah, I'll quickly just show you a simple way of making it look like it's got water in it. So I come to disk and lift it up, and then I can make it bigger, just to like the edge of the fountain, so that the edges can't be seen. Check that. Yeah, that's good. Then I want to go to textures, load texture, color, load image, or in fact no, go color, texture, noise, like this, add some noise, and then I think Luca, no not Luca, sorry, oh yeah, Luca, and then put the global scale at 200, around about 200, and oops for that, whatever. You can change the seed if you want. That's a quite cool one actually, 711. Take that, and I'm gonna basically, if I go from this now and hit layer and click that, it's in layers now. So now if I go from this to shader and go color, I can then add like a watery color. So I'm gonna do something like this. Just like that. I'm going to go to that, and then click it, and where it has it, I'm going to go, you can go multiply, you can go add, you can go overlay. I think I'm going to do overlay for now, and make it 80% overlay. Actually no, 100% overlay we want. Or you could try some other stuff actually. We'll try screen, hard light, soft light. But I think I'm going to go with overlay. And drag it on. And obviously cubic again if you want to. And what you want to do is take this, copy it, and go into reflection and paste it in the reflection. In fact, actually, we'll just change this a bit. We'll make it a bit lighter. I don't want to make this black actually, make it a bit less black. So come to it, click it. There we go, that's more like it. So if I render that, it won't be anything special to yet. Anything too special yet. It kind of looks like a marble floor, so if you want to do a marble floor like that, that's a good way. This is just some simple texture and stuff. Kind of looks like water, but at the same time it doesn't. Then we go to the transparency, and where it has texture, I'm going to paste the texture again. Actually, this time what I want to do is go to my colour, because I've just changed it. Make sure you copy it again and paste it in everything that's changed. And where it has brightness, I don't want it to be 100% reflective, so I'm going to go around 80, 60, something like that. And boom, that's basically it for now. And oh wait, bump as well. You can do a bit of a bump. If I paste it, I'm going to up it actually a bit like that. And then if I render that, it should be kind of decent, watery looking. You can also add a displacement to it, make it a bit bumpier, so it looks like the water's wavy, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. And that's basically all I'm going to do at the moment. Oh yeah, another thing as well that I was going to show you was when I was talking about an effect we were going to do. If you come to your colour when you're making a new texture and go load, you go to load it, and then come down to effects and ambient occlusion, and click it. And what you want to do is make these the colours of what you want. So like a dark colour here, and maybe a light green here. This is going to be like a mossy thing. Then make sure you copy it. Make sure you copy it from that now. Right click the texture bit and copy it, because we're going to need it. You can't use a gradient because it's not a gradient, it is an ambient occlusion. And I'll show you why. Then if you come over to your alpha and paste it, you could have copied it earlier and then make this black. No, so make this white. Make this black. The opposite way around. You have to have it like that. So then what I'm going to do is bring the black down to about here. Drag this over a bit. Up the minimum ray length. If I come into the colour and do that as well, up the minimum ray length a little bit. Then I'm going to add a bump to it. I'm going to add a noise bump. Bring it down a bit. Now, you kind of want the noise to look mossy. That would do. I think that'd do, actually. Yeah, that'd do, I think. And if you drag this on now, oh, sorry. I want to make sure I click the cylinder and click the whole object and drag it on so it covers the whole object. Then I'm going to make it seamless and cubic again, like usual. Now if I render this, what you're going to see is where polygons like intersect. Not every single polygon, the polygons that cross over, like these things here. Where objects meet, where it would ambient occlude, where I've added ambient occlusion, where at the edges it makes things darker. What this should be doing, which it isn't doing, let me sort this out. If I come to my alpha and go pre-multiplied, come to it, and wait, have I done this a bit wrong? Oh, sorry, yeah, you can't be doing that. Blah, 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 blah. Like that, so it shows up. Sorry, I did it the wrong way around. Then do that, and then where it has the ambient occlusion, like I was saying before, where it shadows in little, like the joints of objects. What you're going to see now is it might take a little bit longer to render. What you should be seeing, hopefully, now is where things join. It's going to go green like that, which looks like moss. giving you a nice like ruined moss effect on the thing, on the fountain. So if we let this whole thing render, it's going to it's taking a while to render now, it is, because there's a lot of effects on it and stuff. Plus, I need to sort my hard drive space out. It's getting low, so everything's going to be slower as well with me. This might be faster for you, might be slower for you. I like to think my computer's decent. It's probably not. It's probably terrible, but it can handle Battlefield though, apparently. But yeah. So, and basically that is what I'm going to show you today. The water could suppose do with a bit more transparency. But you've got a fountain there. If you want to take this picture now and put it in Photoshop and add some water sprays and stuff, you can do that. But that's pretty much what I wanted to show you for now. Yeah. So like, favourite, subscribe, and leave a comment saying what other tutorials you want. But for now, that is basically it. If you want to see some other stuff as well, oh, don't want to make that smaller. Other tutorials, make sure you leave a comment saying what kind of tutorial you want it to be. And yeah, like, fave, comment, subscribe, bumhole, toenails. Awesome, man. Awesome. Totally awesome. That's my dudes.